अस्सलाम वालेकुम। उम्मीद है आप सब खैरियत से होंगे। सो नाउ वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग द सेल जंक्शंस। आई नो ये बहुत बोरिंग टॉपिक है और बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट भी है, लेकिन एज इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम द एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, सो वी विल हैव टू डू इट एंड आई विल ट्राई टू मेक इट एज absorbable for you as I can. Let's start. So at the end of this presentation, we will be able to define what are the cell junctions. We can then discuss the different components of a cell junction. We can then demonstrate the different types of cell junctions. We can then give the examples of different types of cell junctions. And at the end, we can describe the formation of the junctional complex. Let's start. Now, basic definition मांगी जाती है कि what are cell junctions. So when the cells are placed together, when the cells are grouped together, there are some modifications or some alterations or some specialities in the cell membranes. These specialities or modifications in the cell membrane which contribute to the cohesion or communication between the adjacent cells. These cohesion and communication like modifications are called cell junctions. Okay? The modifications in the cell membrane which contribute to the cohesion and communication between the cells when they are grouped together, it's called a cell junction. Okay, there are three basic components of a cell junction which distinguishes its type. जितने भी हम सेल जंक्शन की टाइप्स पढ़ेंगे उनमें हम यही तीन मेन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स पढ़ेंगे जिनकी वजह से सेल जंक्शंस एक दूसरे से डिफर करेंगे. ठीक है, और ये तीन बेसिक कंपोनेंट्स क्या हैं? दे आर द ट्रांसमेम्ब्रेन कंपोनेंट फॉर द अटैचमेंट ऑफ ट्रांसमेम्ब्रेन प्रोटीन्स, द एंकरिंग कंपोनेंट फॉर द एंकरेज टू द सेल मेम्ब्रेन, ठीक है, एंड द साइटोप्लाज्मिक कंपोनेंट for attachment to the cytoskeleton, and these three components will be made up of proteins. ठीक है, now I would like to spend some time on it because this is the main point to be explained. ये चीज़ समझ में आ गई तो सेल जंक्शन आपके लिए बहुत आसान हो जाएगी. So this is our one cell and this is our another cell. ठीक है, they are grouped together in a tissue and this is the cell junction in between. ठीक है, it's a very simple diagram to demonstrate. This is the cell junction is in between. ठीक है, so for this cell junction there will be three basic components. ठीक है, what will they be? The first one will be in the between the two membranes. ठीक है, they will be the transmembrane components. ठीक है, in between the two membranes, and it will comprise of the transmembrane proteins, ठीक है, which hold the two cells together. So this component is called the transmembrane component. ठीक है, the second component will be at the cell membranes, the adjacent cell membranes. ठीक है, this component will anchor the transmembrane proteins to the cell membrane. ठीक है, so it will be the anchoring component. And last but not the least component is our own cytoskeleton, which we have discussed in the previous presentation. This is the cytoskeleton, very simple diagram, very hypothetical diagram, and this cytoskeleton will be attached to the transmembrane component, sorry, the anchoring component. Okay, so this is the cytoskeletal component. So three main components of a cell junctions are the transmembrane component, the anchoring component, and the cytoplasmic component. This will distinguish the cell junctions type. Okay, so now we should continue with our presentation. Now we will discuss the types of cell junctions. There are mainly three types of cell junctions: the tight junction or occluding junctions, the adhering junctions, and the gap junctions or the communication junctions. Okay, this image is clearly depicting these junctions: the tight junctions packing the cells tightly together, the adhering junctions for adhesion between the two cells, and the gap junctions for communication. Okay, now the tight junctions. As the name indicates, the tight junctions are those junctions in which the cells are tightly joined to each other. ठीक है, the cells are tightly joined to each other, and this will make the cell sheet which is formed and the tissue which is formed impermeable. ठीक है, जो टिश्यू बनेगा इस जंक्शन के लिए की वजह से वो impermeable हो जाएगा मटेरियल्स के लिए. And this type of cell junction is mainly found in the epithelial cells. ठीक है, the tight junctions are of two main types, zonula occludens and fascia occludens. Zonula means a belt and fascia means a layer. ठीक है, zonula means a belt or a ring and fascia means a layer. The zonula occludens. Now, the zonula occludens is a stitching junction. ठीक है, stitch like junction है या sewing junction है. सिलाई मशीन पर जैसे कपड़े सिलते हैं ना, जो पैटर्न बनता है उस टाइप का पैटर्न यहाँ बनेगा. कैसे बनेगा? The outer leaflets, the outer layer of the plasma membranes of the two adjacent cells will meet together and then they will separate. Then they will again meet and then they will separate. ठीक है, thus forming a belt around the cell. ठीक है, this is the entire cell perimeter and a belt-like structure is made. ठीक है, zonula occludens is a belt-like junction surrounding the entire cell perimeter. ठीक है, and it will be present immediately beneath the apical cell membrane. ठीक है, this is the lumen and here is the apex of the cell, here is the lateral plasma membrane and here is the basal plasma membrane. So the zonula occludens or the belt-like junctions are immediately beneath the apical cell membrane. ठीक है. Now, as we will now discuss the three main components which will differ it from the rest of the cell junctions. So the three main proteins are the transmembrane proteins, anchoring proteins and the cytoskeletal proteins. The transmembrane proteins here are occludin and claudin. They will be present here. The anchoring proteins will be present on the cell membrane will be zonula occludin 1, zonula occludin 2 and zonula occludin 3. ठीक है, and the cytoskeletal protein will be our microfilaments, that is the actin, because this cytoskeletal protein will bind to the anchoring protein, that is why actin is present here. ठीक है. Now as we have discussed that they are the stitching junctions, and as it is clearly depicted in these electron micrographs, so the number of fusion sites, ठीक है, the number of fusion sites will determine the sealing capability of the zonula occludens. ठीक है, the more the number of fusion sites as they are in the intestinal mucosa, the more impermeability will be there, and the less the number of the fusion sites, the less the impermeability will be there as it in the renal proximal convoluted tubule. ठीक है, so zonula occludens are found in the renal PCT, the intestinal mucosa, the urinary bladder and the blood vessels of the brain. ठीक है, यहाँ याद रखिएगा blood vessels of the brain and the central nervous system as well. ठीक है, उनमें zonula occludens होंगे. Blood vessels of brain will have zonula occludens. ठीक है. Next, fascia occludens. Zonula, I have discussed that they are belt-like junctions and fascia they are the strip-like junctions. ठीक है, they are similar to zonula occludens but they are strip-like. They are depicted here as if they are found in the blood vessels except that of brain. बॉडी की सारी ब्लड वेसल्स में ये होगा एक्सेप्ट ब्रेन के. ठीक है, नाउ देयर इज द हिस्टोलॉजिकल डिपिक्शन ऑफ द ब्लड वेसल. हियर इज द एंडोथेलियल लाइनिंग एंड इन द एंडोथेलियल लाइनिंग देयर आर द स्ट्रिप लाइक जंक्शंस प्रेजेंट, द फेशिया occludens. ठीक है.